Thanks for being here, Abby.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, Abby, I know you recently took a few months off
Mm-hmm.
from music,
Yeah.
which I assume meant you were not writing, and you weren't
No.
performing.
Yeah.
Uh, what has been your biggest takeaway from self-imposed sabbatical leave of absence?
I think it really just it makes you think of your life without music and how it would be, and if you do like miss it a lot, and if you feel like, oh, I need to be playing, or if you feel like, oh, this is fine, and like I don't need to be playing, and it kind of like I don't know, it just like puts it more in a place where you can like define it instead of being like being in school, you're like, yep, I'm doing music, it's definitely a thing. But then when you're out of school, it's like, no, it's really just like your choice, what you want to do, when you want to practice, when you want to write a song. It's all up to you. So it's like, I don't know, it just gives you time to really think about it and digest those facts and be like, do I want to do this for myself? For what reasons? Why do I want to do it? And then going forward, either going back to it or just, I guess,
What would your life
abandoning
be like without music?
it. It would be really different, I think.
In what ways?
For me, music is a really good source of release, especially writing. So I think it's helped me a lot get through things, especially when because you can talk to people and you can try to watch an inspirational video, but to be able to like play music or get something out, like write music, I don't know, it's just been the best form of therapy, I guess. So yeah.
Well, what do you think your life would be like if you didn't if you didn't play bass all the time, if you weren't playing it professionally? Do you think you'd be missing something from your life, or do you think you would be?
Depends. I don't know. If I had never had it ever, then my life would just be what it is. I'd probably be happy. I'd probably find inspiration in other things. Just like how people say, oh, you're meant to be with like one person or whatever. I don't think that's true. I think like people can thrive in many different things. And it's like because of how I was brought up and my circumstances, that's what led me to music. But if I had had different circumstances, but I don't know, knowing like playing music though and then not having it, I think that would be really hard for me to not have it. But yeah.
Because you've already experienced it.
Exactly. But if I had never experienced it, then I don't know. I'd probably be fine.
Has playing bass given you a sense of purpose in your life and identity?
That's pretty deep. I don't know. Maybe. I think the idea of like having a purpose is so like I don't know. Maybe it's given me some purpose, but it's not like, okay, this is the one thing I know that will be my thing for the rest of my life, you know? Because it gives me like, I don't know, that much fulfillment, I guess. Like it gives me fulfillment, but like I think there are so many big issues with the world and so many like so I feel like there's art and then there's like logically things that you can fix. There's like art helps people like emotionally and whatever, but then there's also like, okay, this specific thing, this medication helps this specific thing. So
do you wish sometimes you could be doing that instead of doing art?
Sometimes.
Something that's more concrete, something that's more
exactly.
direct.
Sometimes I do, but but ultimately I don't. So, yeah, it outweighs it.
I listened to this interview with Ai Weiwei,
Okay.
the artist.
Okay.
He was talking about how art is at the core of peace.
True.
Right. So I think that even you're still able to affect all these different things and change other people's lives from the bottom up, right? From the inside out.
Definitely.
So if that gives you any reassurance.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
In the late 60s, I was reading this interview about Gary Peacock, right, the jazz bassist, who went to Japan to study Zen and get away from his bass because he thought it was too overwhelming,
Right.
right? It was like he was identifying with the bass.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day he woke up and realized that the bass was something he did, but not who he was.
Yeah.
Right? When you took the time off,
Mm-hmm.
did you find it to be liberating in that sense?
Definitely. It's sort of like it just puts everything into perspective. It's like, oh, like that is not my only thing in life. It's like I don't know. It's like forces you to be like, oh, like other things and friends and people and what else is there and like what do I want to do by playing bass? Like, you know, it's like it's a musical instrument, but like we live in this like world where it's like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, even I live with musicians, right? And we're all like, everyone is like, yeah, we play music, but like we want to like change the world somehow. So, yeah, I don't know. When you take a break, it's like you start thinking of ideas and you start thinking of like ways you can actually like do that, I guess.
Do you feel powerless as a musician sometimes?
Sometimes, but also I also feel extremely powerful as well because I think that music is a great platform for connecting with people and opening up conversations that maybe people are afraid to have, like one-on-one or whatever. And so, yeah, powerless sometimes, but also very powerful as well. Mm-hmm.
When you're doing a lot of gigs, right? And you're playing in a lot of bands.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel burnt out?
No. I used to feel like that before I took a break but it's like I've accepted the fact that if I do want to be a musician and I do want to do this, I need to like just give it my best go and play as much as I want to like can play and like write as much as I want to write. And just like if I feel burnt out, then I'll change. I don't know. Like I'll make a change and I'll try to find out exactly why I'm feeling burnt out and then change that. But so I usually don't feel burnt out, and if I do, then it's like
And when you find out that you've been burnt out, and
Right.
why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Usually just not sleeping enough. Like really. I'm like, oh, I've only gotten like 3 hours of sleep every night. That's probably a problem.
Have you ever experienced self-doubt as a musician?
Yeah, all the time, every day. I
Hmm.
think that's like it's very common amongst people. Or maybe not, I don't know.
What does it stem from?
I don't know, probably comparing myself to people constantly. Like, not consciously, but I think I do it, whether I want to or not. And then just like, wow, that's so wonderful. This is so wonderful. And then I like compare my writing to it or my playing. And it's like, oh, like, I'm not as good or whatever. Like, I doubt myself. But it's like, you have to just not do that.
Have you taken steps to get your ego out of the equation?
What do you mean?
To remove all of that so that you're not always comparing yourself,
Right.
your work to other people's work.
Yeah, I mean, I've like tried to like meditating and stuff.
Has that
and
helped?
It has helped a lot. And just like taking time for yourself. For me though, I'm like an introvert, so like I recharge when I'm alone and I like have my thoughts. I don't know, exercise too has helped a lot. So, yeah.
In what ways has meditation helped
It
you?
just like kind of, I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself by saying like it puts everything into perspective, but it just gives you like this like ground level. It's just like everything is like really okay. And yeah, I don't know. It clears your head a lot, for me at least.
How important is self-preservation and like health to you?
Very important.
And like
Very important.
your emotional mindset.
Yeah, and physical, like not like being super fit, but like making sure that I am healthy and yeah, my brain is working well. Like, very important to me.
How does it translate into your playing?
Well, for me, well, because I'm also type 1 diabetic, if I'm not healthy and I'm not taking care of myself, then if my blood sugar is really high or if I'm low, I'm not going to play as well. And I'm going to be like very like all over the place. And I'm not going to be able to focus. And so, yeah, it's like affects it very directly. Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're identifying too much with the bass and you want to separate that
No,
and
I
that
mean,
bass?
I usually like I don't really identify super with the bass. It's more just like music. Like I identify with music in general. So, yeah. I mean, I love playing bass. But yeah, it's not like I'm like, I am bass player. Abby bass. As one. Yeah.
So the bass is more a prism for you to express.
Yeah, exactly.
Express yourself.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Right.
Cool.
Do you ever feel as though you're not able to express yourself to your full potential?
Yeah.
Through your instrument?
Yeah. I think so. But then I write, and then that helps. Because it's like if I hear something that's on a bass clarinet, like then I hear it on that. I can't play that on bass. So.
You told me you don't like self-promotion.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't not like it. I just, like, I like it. I like seeing other people do it. It's great. But I'm just like, I don't know. I think because of, like, the self-doubt or, like, that stuff just always gets in the way. Yeah.
Self-doubt, like you're not good enough?
Yeah, sort of. And, like, I don't know. It's like, listen to my stuff. But it's like, what? Like, I guess it's cool. But it's like, listen to whatever you want. I don't know.
No, I get that too.
Yeah.
Like you're putting something out there.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, you feel guilty for imposing your
exactly
artistic.
Sort of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you want to keep the stuff that you listen to yourself? The stuff that you write? Do you want to keep it private?
Oh, yeah, and I do that. I don't always fully, like, put out a song or whatever and show it to people.
It's like your little
it's
thing.
It's like a journal, yeah.
Yeah. There's this interview with the jazz bassist Esperanza Spalding on NPR, and she's talking about how the bass, specifically the upright bass, is like when she plays it, it's like it's orgasmic.
Oh wow!
Because the sound is like going through her body. Do you get that?
Do I get that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. I mean, it definitely feels different than electric bass. I wouldn't say like orgasmic, but like it definitely feels good. Although I went to camp once.
Yeah.
When I was like, I went to a jazz camp in grade 8, and I was just like picking up the bass, and the lady teacher there was like, playing upright bass is better than sex, and like it always will be. And we were like, okay.
Is it?
It's different.
It's a different kind of
it's a different
euphoria.
Kind. Exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't really compare. I mean, yeah, it's different.
It's also quite an odd comparison.
Ooh, the lights went out. Oh, they came back on.
That happens. Whenever.
It's like.
What happens is whenever I talk about sex, my director turns off the lights.
Yeah.
Felix.
Don't go down that road again.
You studied with a lot of great jazz bassists.
Totally.
You know, like Neil Swainson, Jody Prosnick. What is the one piece of wisdom that has stayed with you over the years?
I don't know. I think I can't like think of specific words right now, but something that really helped me that I never did before having like this teacher was just like recording everything I was playing and listening back to it all. And that, I don't know, it's not wisdom, that's just like a thing, but that has stayed with me forever, and I do that, and it just like helps me grow, I guess, as a musician.
Does it help with your ego and self-doubt?
Totally. It helps with like everything. And it's also just like if you thought you were playing something like that, you're usually not playing it like that. And then you hear it back and you're like, oh my gosh. Either like, wow, or like, oh no. Depending.
Why do you think that is? What do you think when you play
I
something?
don't know. It's so weird, right?
Mm,
Maybe like because of where you're standing too. Like spatially could be a thing. I don't know. Or just your mindset while you're playing. Who knows? I don't know.
isn't that always weird though? That like when
Yeah.
you're playing something, or even like when I'm doing radio,
Yeah.
it's always different though when I'm actually doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and how I see it, how I hear it when I'm doing it, as opposed to hearing it
Listening
back.
Totally. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that was me. I did that.
I said those things.
Yeah, that
I-
came out of
I talked about sex on there. Your EP,
Mm-hmm.
is it named after what I think it's named after?
Probably. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Why did you decide to?
I just
name
was
it that?
like, oh, I have to. Okay, I'm trying to think of the right words. I don't want to sound like unappreciative or ungrateful or anything. I just was like, by the end of school, I was like, okay, like I wasn't as into it, I guess. It's just like I have to like make this project. So I took it as an opportunity to like explore this like genre. Like I was really into R&B and like hip hop, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna like try writing. I don't know, in that style. So that was like great, but I was also like, this is just a college project, so I'm just gonna name it College. And I literally took that picture with my phone and like the staircase. It doesn't really look like it, but like the album
I
cover.
had a feeling it was something like that.
It's just like college, like that's what it is. And I just taught all the songs just talk about experiences that I had at college that I grew from, and yeah, so that's what it was. Is it too much?
No, it's funny because I was preparing questions and
They just
looked
don't
at-
work anymore.
no, I looked at your at college here,
Yeah.
and then I thought it might have meant it was either going to mean something very profound
Right.
or something not at all.
Profound.
At
well, I
all.
mean, yeah,
Well,
it's
it
kinda
could be
both,
profound
right?
to you,
yeah.
but I'm sure relatively,
Yeah.
I'm sure like other
It's-
people
Yeah.
have
well,
thought, thousands of years about
I know.
what name they're going to put on their little 5-track EP,
Yeah.
but you just slapped the
Just
word on it.
college, Whatever. yeah.
I'm so done with this.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, which is like kind of sad, but I learned a lot. So
Did you grow disillusioned with school?
did I grow disillusioned with school? Like in what way?
In every way. You said that you wanted to you were tired of school. What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I just think it just like it was so great. Like I loved school. Like there was great people there and everything, but it doesn't feel very real, you know? There's like classrooms and like for music at least. I don't know.
Why did it not feel real to you?
Not real. It just felt like
It felt like a construct.
yeah, you know, it's just like, and I also, by like the end of it, was like, music is not something you need to go to school for, right? Like if you want to do music, you don't need to go to school for. I'm glad I did go to school for it because I learned a lot and I met a lot of cool people that I would not have met. And it did make me realize things like that and like negative things or whatever and things I didn't like and like I don't know. I think it's just as important to know what you don't like as like what you
How do you feel about doing interviews? You were on Jazz FM.
Yeah, they're cool. I don't know.
How do you feel about
This is cool.
doing them in general?
In general, I don't know. I mean, it's cool to like look back, I guess, and be like, that's what I was thinking at that time. But it's also like, wow, I said that. I thought that at that time. So
It is
it's
interesting in
cool.
the sense that you get snapshots of your life.
Right. And it's different than a picture too, because like, or just a video of you playing, because it's like just your thoughts, you know? It's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, but it is very similar to photography, I think in the sense that you just you're capturing a moment in time,
Mm-hmm.
and you can look back on it, especially with
Yeah.
the expansion of technology, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
What is next for you? What's your next project?
I'm hoping, well, I'm starting to write more music. I've never like been super about being like the leader and like of a group or whatever, but I think like I really just want to write a bunch of music and do a show and do my own like thing. And I want to incorporate like some things I'm passionate about, like animal rights or like whatever stuff that's going on in the world right now. Just like non-linear ways of living that has been a thing for so long.
You want to integrate that into your music?
Into the music.
How do you think
I
you're
don't
gonna
know.
go about
I mean,
doing
I
it?
write lyrics as well, so like maybe that way, or I don't know, maybe just like more experimental things, putting the audience in maybe like more of an uncomfortable situation that they're not used to. I don't know. I'm thinking. I don't know. I have some ideas.
Throw one out there.
I don't know. I'm gonna. I don't know. Just different. I just feel like it's always so band plays up front and the audience sits and watches, but it can be so much more than that, right? Like it doesn't have to always be. It can be like the band
You
can
think
be
it'd be
anywhere. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. It could be happening when the audience doesn't even know it's happening. Like, and then it could just be in the background and they're just having a conversation. But their conversation is a little bit different because there's music happening, but they don't know it, you know? I don't know. Just little things.
Right, like that change the atmosphere
Yeah.
and the context.
Yeah, the context. Or just like, yeah, and just like maybe visual things as well. I'm not sure. Just to like open people to things that I feel like everyone's just so afraid of talking about things or confronting issues because it's like looked at as, oh, like we know about that and it's like sad or it's like bad and then we don't want to talk about it or it's uncomfortable, you know? But I feel like people just need to talk more and people need to like communicate more. Like the world would be so much better.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
People need to talk to one another.
Yeah. And
share
not be
ideas.
afraid to like, yeah, because everyone is human and everyone thinks a lot of the same things. They just don't know that, you know?
All right, thanks for being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.